What a panoramic view this is up here on the hillside, overlooking the valleys over there. You can see I spin around there. Great view, great day, too good for fishing. But I'm going down bottom of the valley down there. There's a little stream I fish normally only in the winter. It's one, two, there's 3 swims, maybe 4 swims down there, and it's literally within 5 minutes you've been through them. If there's fish in there, great. If there's not, there's not. It'll only be small fish, but I'm trying to catch anything. I've got frozen bait, that's all I've got. I think my casters are floaters. I think they've gone to floaters, they were frozen, but they probably just run off on the surface just the way it is. But with a view like that, folks, I mean, you'd think you were over in Canada somewhere, and I'm literally 10 minutes from home. Let's get going down through the woodland, see if I can even find this stream. It's completely different going down here now than what it's like in the winter. The one thing, this is an Indian summer and it's hot, 20 something degrees. You can tell that by all the leaves on the trees. So we're not even autumn yet. It's just on the verge of changing. It's always worth a shout. So I'll get down here and get some bait in the water. Wow, that's weird. It's not even damp. That's a sort of drainage ditch that runs down into the little stream down here. So I know we've had no rain, but I've never ever seen it bone dry. It is bone dry there. So obviously maybe the river's going to be a bit low. Totally overgrown. I think you can see loads and loads of bracken around. Hopefully not too many people. Hopefully nobody down there swimming and jumping in with dogs and all that, because it is so tiny. It's almost a one fish wonder. And I say I've never fished it this time of year before, so totally new to me. Don't have the best bait. Just got to go with what I could get out of the freezer. Well, there's a little bit of water laying down there in the ditch. That's something. At least there's moisture. Up there on the heath, what's called the heath, it'll be really hot. I hope it's not one of these heaths, and it does catch light every now and then. Hopefully today's not the day. Another ditch, look. Absolutely bone dry. Now I've got a well on my house. I've got 3 wells actually. The main big one's 32 feet deep. It's low, but not low enough to, you know, create this drop here. So we'll see if we can even find the stream first. At least I'm in the shade here in the leaves. Where do I go? Up here? I can see it, but you normally hear it by now. There it is. Wow, I have never seen it. It's virtually, I'm not saying dried out, that's totally unfishable. If you look over the back there, there's just shingle banks. It's like an inch deep. Okay, so I've lived in the air for like 70 years. It's called 60 of those fishing. I've never ever ever seen this stream, river, call it what you like, this low. That is like beyond belief. Now my well doesn't indicate that. What it does indicate to me, it's like there's a hole in the surface crust somewhere, and this is absolutely running down through it to wherever. It has to be water abstraction for housing estates that's causing this dire situation on streams and rivers drying up. Goodness me, it might be no fishing on this one, people. Could be a long walk for nothing. Look at it, man. That is just bizarre. It's bone dry where I normally fish. I can't believe this. Well, there's a tiny hole. It might be a foot deep. I guess if you're a fish, you've got to be down there on the gravel, are you? Inch you're going to hole up in this pool, so let's have a throw in there. Unfortunately, I think all these are floaters. I'll bring a load out. Might be a few sinkers in there, who knows. They'd be pretty well useless for fishing with normally. Then I keep small little bags of leftover bait. You can see that from previous fishing trips. There might in this one be a few sort of white ones. So we're going to open this up put them in the bait tin, and let's have a look. If you can see those there, some of those definitely will sink. Just got my aim rod. What I've got is no space to show you, but I'll try my best. I've got a sort of stick float there with camouflage base to it because it's only shallow. That was tied up, I think, by Bill Rushmer, very famous early doors fisherman years ago. 2 maggots, about £2.9 there. See if anybody's at home. Big problem I've got is I've got prescription polarizing glasses, and they're really, really dark. It's out there in the sunshine, great. Down here, it's really dark. Well, save the blank, people. Just on the inside is Mr. Minnow. So there's one fish in the river. It's just down on the inside where there's a little bit of a slack down there. Thing is, if you've got minnows in there, you can have plenty of bait you need to throw in, so put a bit more in. Well, nothing in that swim other than that one minnow, guys. I'm down at the main hot spot, if you could call it that. If you just look over there, you can see the actual gravel bank totally exposed. Little channel of water going through there, fast here, overgrowing, growing hanging branches. Where I used to get the odd fish was down in here. I can see the bottom of my polarizing glass, there's nothing there. So I figured just on the crease, on the edge there, up to that tree stump is about the only chance I've got of getting a fish. So one minnow currently has saved the blank. That, I mean, is sort of ridiculously low. I've never seen it like that. And Joe Public's out now, so we're in the realms of dogs, kids, footballs, something that's coming in the water. Almost sort of unfishable. I had to go back to my normal glasses. I just cannot see the float properly with polarizer too dark. So I've got this one pool. I'm getting bites off minnows because I've got 3 maggots and I'm not getting them. I'm just running through with 3 maggots first, trying to get a decent fish, dace or something like that. But at the moment, the float's sort of not great. I need a bodied one, so I might have to change. I'll put a bit of extra shot on it. Of course, that's pulled it under too much. It's minnows all the time. If I had a single maggot and an 18 hook, I'll be catching one after the other. And here is indeed the culprit. Just minnows. No dace, no nothing yet. I might finish, there's only one swim left. Well, listen, I can't complain. It's not bad for Joe Public, and there's no dogs jumping in. Well, just circulating around about that stump, I lost one good fish in there. Just bumped him off. Felt probably a dace or a small chub. Just wondering behind that drift. I've never fished it before, but because it's so low, I might be able to just stand there and drop the float in. Tempted to use a piece of worm instead, but let's throw some maggots in. I've had one dog was in there, but he's been gone for about 20 minutes. Hopefully it's gone a bit quieter. And I had a tiny speck of worm in here I wanted to use. I've changed floats, got caught up a tree. I lost my link on the end, so I've gone to, as you can see, that's a bodied one. That other one wasn't right at all. But this is slightly heavier. Takes 3 BB. You can see I've got a little piece of worm. I think the stuff, hopefully the dog doesn't come and urinate up my camera bag, which has happened before. I just feel just down there whether there is actually space for a float to sit. Probably not. I've got one more swim downstream, but there's been people jumping in there, so minnows. Feel them tugging on the piece of worm. Just not quite enough circulation there to hold the float. Right, I'll go and see if I can find one more stretch. There's been anglers through there, so sort of waste of time going through. They've only had minnows apparently, somebody's telling me. So low, normally the water's up here covering it. Oh well, we came, we saw, but we did not conquer. Oh well. Something of a disaster. I'll just walk over that field, see if I can get arrested. Plenty of Himalayan balsam here, all pinging their seeds everywhere. You see them just pop open. They're going to pop open anyway, so it doesn't matter, people brush past them. Everywhere. All up here. I think through here the other people were fishing. Well, they've been fishing here, but it's so shallow, unbelievable. Good chance of sliding in as well. Maybe over there. Outflow coming here, but who knows, it's below the sewage farm, so, or sewage treatment, so I don't really fancy it too much. I just throw a few maggots in there and try. Underneath those trees, possibility. You almost need waders to get in there. Now what do I go with? I think a little piece of worm. Just a little segment. One fish would be nice, and no trees. Wow, is it snaggy here. See, we've got just basically just about barely an inch of worm. It's not going to be very deep there, that's for sure. This is so sketchy. The only place I fancy is up there, up the tree, no doubt. Yeah, it's shallow. I'm on the bottom and I'm only barely 15 inches deep. Wow, what's it like below there? This is a body float, takes more shot. Wow, that was nearly up the tree. I reckon that's barely a foot deep there. You'd think there'd be chub there years ago. Get under there. Yeah, sort of. No, it's running through there, but of course I can't now really see where I'm fishing. Well, has success will come eventually. I'll move to another swim if I can get this without getting my line up the tree, and I've got a rare commodity called a gudgeon. So that's interesting. It's only little fish, of course. It's been a while since I've had a few of these gudgeon. I used to catch loads of those years ago. Very good pike live baits as well, because they always swim downwards because they're bottom feeding species. So they used to be good float fishing for small pike and that. Anyway, it's just down the side here, so worm was the bait. I'll chuck a few of these old floaters in up the trees. They'll fall down and tumble down in the current, what current there is, so low. Another tiny piece of, not even, I'll show you. It's a piece of a big log worm. Just you can cut them up with scissors if you want. It's a bit neater. It's barely half an inch long. So basically, effectively, I'm putting a piece of worm meat on the hook. That makes sense. That float must be on the bottom because the gudgeon is a bottom feeding species. Right, let's have another go. Oh, that was close to a tree root. So I see the minnows through the sunlight on the bottom there. That's going to be the problem. That's why I put the worm on, to get rid of the minnows. Right, I'll click off and get back to you guys if I do get another bite. It's very close to the edge here. Got to just this side, inside of that, where it slows up a bit. Barely see the float through the trees. And oh, that felt like a decent fish. I hate to say that felt like a decent fish. I need some new line on this reel. It's caught so many bigger fish, it got twisted up. Very sketchy, just swinging your float out there like that. See, I'm getting bites, but I know there's plenty of minnows down there. That's about where I got the bite, there somewhere. I'm on again. I've got to face another gudgeon. Yes. Look, we know they're small fish, people, just small fish, but fun fish. As kids we used to catch these one after the other years ago. Typically from a little slow stream like this. So you can see, actually, I don't need fine hook links and tiny hooks. I just need, I'm £6 straight through there, and they weren't bothered. I guess those other people that were here fishing, they didn't see this swim, didn't spot it as a swim. Well, it's not really a swim, but it just goes to show the fish in there. Just wants, all this one's cutting out and you can fish, couldn't you? You know, it's not rocket science, it's hard work. That's what it boils down to. Well, I'll get back to you if I get another one. I've found a hole that's not barely castable, and I'll just have one more gudgeon. Couldn't get the camera on in time, but you know what a gudgeon looks like. But I put the float deeper so it's dragging the bottom, because I figure that's a deepish hole there. And that was on a sectional worm again. And the invariable minnows there. I can't really cast. All I can do is swing it out at arm's length like that. Schoolboy fishing. What it was 60 years ago when there were some fish in the river. There's one. Oh, I bumped him off. I bumped him off. Probably a gudgeon. Just got to get that pace right, so the worm's just swirling around off the bottom there, about half an inch off the bottom. Almost want it dragging the bottom for gudgeon. Well guys, I've dropped 3 gudgeon and now I've got what I call a proper one. Let me swing it round down, son. That's better. So I've lost 3, and there against that blue sky is a really fat gudgeon. It's a long time since I caught one that big. Sectional worm, tiny sectional worm. Hook so small I can't get hold of it. Hook, he's off. Hold still, buddy. A nice fat gudgeon. Oh, not so bad after all. For a small stream, there's still life in there. I cleared some nettles here. I barely, it's not even a cast, it's a sort of swing out there. You just got to get it at the right pace going through. I think that might be all right there. They won't go in the fast water, not really slack. They want it just moving slightly. Good job I bought the worms. Wow, all going swimmingly, people. Another gudgeon, so I seem to have got them taped, got the right depth. Tiny piece of worm and getting a few fish. Worth the walk, I feel. It would have been nice to get a day. Hard to believe, but I've got a decent fish here now, people. That was going to be my last cast, and there you go. Wonder of wonders. A perch. I made it, had all those gudgeon first, and then I ended up with a nice perch. Yeah, all turned out well. Well, it wasn't the greatest fishing trip, but what I did like, there's a bit of exploring like that. However, I will be going back again, but I'm going to be waiting for a bit more rain. You can get the same on the big rivers, don't get me wrong, they can be low as well, I realise that. But it's just so much more noticeable when I fished 50 years ago as a kid on that stream and think it was twice as wide, twice as deep, more luxurious in weed growth, and had 5 times the amount of fish in it. Listen, the gudgeon made up for it though. Anyway, let's pop over to Graham's Tackle Up, have a chat over there and see what he's talking about this week. So Graham, what are we going to look at today?
I'm going to show you some of the target pistols. So if you want to get into shooting pistols, they are designed for shooting at home plinking, for shooting tin cans and stuff like that, or they do certain clubs for shooting particular types of pistol events. So I'll show you a couple of variations we've got. So I'll show you my most popular selling pistol, which is made by Graeme, which is a Spanish company. We sell lots of these. So it's what they call a blowback action. So it gives you like a real sort of feel for the gun when you fire it. So when you pull the trigger, the gas flows this back as well.
So that's a gas. Explain it. Is it?
So yeah, a CO2. So you put your little cylinder cartridge. Now I'll have to show you them in a second.
Yeah.
You put one in there, wind it up tight, which
that perforates
it. Yeah, pierces the cylinder and lets you gas into there. So you'd pop that back on. You'd be aiming to, probably in this warmer weather like it is today, you might get maybe 60 shots out of a cylinder. Colder weather, maybe sort of 40. So in warm weather, you get a few more. This is what we call an 8-shot magazine. So it's a little rotary magazine.
Oh, so same as a rifle, so that's a rotary system, yeah.
But it's double-sided. So you load both ends up. And if you were a really keen target shooter, you might have a handful of them lined up, ready to go. And then
so how many's in each end there?
So 8 in each end.
So you've got 16
shots in there. You have to, once you've fired it, you'll have to turn it around without making a scene of it. Let's put that back on there, it's alright. Right, so 8-shot magazine goes in one side, so it's up this way. And then you pull the trigger, which is semi-automatic, which fires each pistol.
Oh, you can keep going. You haven't got
to
do that shunt.
No, so you'll get 8 shots like that. When it runs out, you push the button on the side, which then pops it out. You just turn it round and pop that one back in. And there you go.
So these would be what, 177s?
These are, yeah, so 177, you'll see on my little note here, we put this on here for us, so this is a .177 and a BB. So what this means is this will have a straight tube on it with no rifling. So you can fire the BB, because obviously rifling means you've got the spirals and it makes your pellet spin.
Straighter.
So it'll come out straighter and fly straight is where you want it to go.
The BB would be what, a single circular ball bearing type thing, really?
Yeah, little tiny thing.
And the idea, what's the idea of the DAP? Why would you? What's the benefit of one against the other?
If you were more serious in target shooting, I'd be looking at a pellet, because the rifle in the barrel is more accurate. Whereas a BB will go straight for a little bit, but if the wind's blowing, things like that, it will blow out a line and sort of head off where it wants to go.
What do they make those out of, the BB?
So stainless steel generally. So my honest advice is plinking. I prefer a pellet gun, because when a pellet hits, it collapses and it doesn't fold up. So whereas a BB will ricochet and
because it's solid.
It's solid. It doesn't break down.
Okay,
so that's why I like the pellet. So
you're guided by the same laws of foot-pounds or whatever it is?
Right, so these are slightly different on the pistol. So as we've talked about the air rifles, got to sort of 12 foot-pounds as a maximum pressure, but they're generally slightly lower. These will range anywhere between 2 to 4 foot-pounds on this CO2 stuff, designed at shooting 10-metre pistol ranges, realistically.
Yes.
Single shot pistols.
You're not going rodent shooting with these?
No, so generally you'll get some people use an odd pistol for rodent shooting, but it'd be a single shot version, which is a 2.2. You put a CO2 canister in there and it is just literally pull the bolt, one shot, and these would probably be as most sort of powerful as they would be as a pistol, being probably 5.5 foot-pounds.
I got you. Yeah. So this one got my fingerprints on it now.
Yeah.
Weight-wise, is there anything?
Yeah, they're all set. They're all different. And the pistols, I think the beauty of them is, if you like the look of one, there's so many variations you can buy for collectors. So people who used to probably maybe shoot pistols back in the day. And that's going to having that. I mean, just not I've done it, but that one looks. If I got a bit camera shake, I've got a bit of hand shake. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be using that one much target shooting. Is the longer barrel better for target longer
shooting?
Barrel, yes, yeah, because it'll fly straighter for longer. I'd say you'll get more feet per second faster coming out of a longer barrel because it'll hold its pattern for longer. And
traditional patterns, what sort of
other guns have you got? Sorts. So I'll show you some different ones in here. So what have we got that's a bit authentic? So I'll show you these because this is one that is a popular, as everybody knows, which is a PO8. Which is an old sort of relic that people
Luger
go back. That's
thing,
it.
Yeah.
It's a Luger. That's it. Exactly that, Graeme. So that's really been really popular. This is a BB fire. I generally buy this, and don't shoot me for saying it. I buy it for the older guys who are interested in the styles of guns because they collect them. So
people will collect these pistols just for collectors.
Just for collectors, I think it's just for something maybe they enjoyed or fired when they were younger. So that's a Makarov. It's another sort of pistol that's been really popular in the older sort of war times.
I see the little red dot. I see the other ones over here. I assume they've all got safeties on them.
They all have safeties, yeah. So if it's red with an F, it's on fire. If it's on S, it's safe. Sometimes it's normal. It can be a white dot.
Yeah.
There you go, got a white dot on that one.
So the dot, seeing the dot means it's live.
No, so
the other way.
Yeah, the other way. If the red showing, if it's red.
Oh, I see red. Yeah.
Red
I couldn't
and
see
F, red danger. So fire, and obviously the white is safe. This one's slightly different. You've got a button there. So again, fire. You see red.
Yeah.
Non-fire, and that is just plain. So. I say we get lots of different. There's so many variations of pistols. So another very popular one we sell a lot of is a Glock, which is obviously known and used in the police force.
I've heard of those,
yeah. So these are made by Umarex.
Is that an absolute replica of a police one? Now?
That's it. Yeah. So there's a few different versions. There's a Glock 17. They also do a 19 that's slightly rounded edges, and they do slightly different variations in this. It's quite realistic, like the real thing, and the fact of. You've got your secondary safety on the trigger, you've got another safety there, and this one, where's the other one? This is your safety on here, which the Glocks are particularly they're hard to use in the fact, so it's on fire at the moment because it's red. If I pull that down, white for safe.
So police ones be exactly the same as this?
Exactly the same.
What are they in police, just size-wise? Same size as that?
Same size.
9mm, what are they?
9mm, yeah. So but obviously their mag wouldn't carry, so this is a BB magazine.
Yeah.
Put your gas cartridge in there, or your cylinder.
Yeah.
And then you load your BB, so you pull the slide down there, the plastic slide.
It's like a staple, like filling up a stapler.
Exactly that, it's no different. So you pull out a stapler and you just drop your BBs in through the top, and they fall down, load up, and as you fire one, the spring pushes up, and they come out. So they're on a semi-automatic, so it is literally, we're on safe still, so.
Oh, just as you go, yeah.
So, and obviously that'll go on each shot. So that's something that everybody's really loved this year. You might have been a panorama in my camera there, move your bait box. And these ones I haven't.
You know I'm going fishing, guys, because the mags are in there. Yeah, he's got mags for these, and I've got the mags that I want.
That's it for the fishing.
Different type of mag.
So these are like a Colt 45 single action, really popular, like cowboy gun that everybody knows as. This is a limited edition pair called a pair of aces to do with the cars and up on the side, but these this year, like the Colt 45 actions, the antique versions, have been really popular. Do you want me to get one out of the cabinet?
If you got one,
Right, so these are the Colt single action 45, which is really popular this year. We've sold lots of them. I think nostalgia sort of thing, it's the cowboy gun. So these are limited edition, they come as a double pair in a nice display box. These are more like a realistic firing, so what you do is you half cock the pistol, and let's see if we're on.
They got like brass cartridges, I assume you put the pellet in, is that right?
That's it. So again, we've got safety feature on that. That is your safe.
Yeah.
And that is your fire. And then what you do is you half cock these, and that allows you to spin the action. We pop this one out here, we spin the action to there, we've got a little lever on the side here, and we pull that up.
Oh, it pops out.
It ejects my cartridge. Then what you do is you load each pellet.
177 again?
That's it, 177. You load each pellet into the back of it. Again, they can be BB or pellet, depending on which ones we bought. So you load your pellet into the cartridge, and pop it back into the gun. And you have to spin all the way around the cycle to fill them up. And again, gas operated.
Yeah.
So we go all the way back, we can fire, and then
it's got to go in there, yeah.
Now that is where your gas lives.
They're all the same size.
That's it, so 12 gram CO2 cartridge. With this one they give you a little nifty, your Allen keys on the bottom of your handle, which is just for winding your gas scrub screw.
Oh, I see, yes, so that's to compress it and pop the end of the cylinder.
So we pop that one back in there.
And that's what? English, American, where would that be made? I've got you
You've got me now. We never know, they differ every time. So trademarks, company, I think it's a Umrex, so it'd be Germany.
Germany, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of them you get Umrex, there are a lot made in China as well, of the replicas.
I know they're pretty
heavy.
They're pretty heavy, aren't they? So
really
what material would they use for that? Composite metals or something? Or?
No, that's probably made of steel, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of these guns that we've got out are all, none of them are plastic, they are all metal. They have plastic components like this to slide on the Makarov for the pistol, but the rest of that is an all metal gun. We'll show another one that you like a lot of. I'm going to get it out. This is another revolver style, like the Dirty Harry style.
Now we're talking. My hand won't even go round that thing.
No, that's it. So a proper one. Again, CO2 goes in the handle. You generally find on these you'll have a little sort of one side to come off.
Oh, I got you, yeah.
CO2 cartridge again, your little Allen key on the end there. These are made by the same people. Right, on your rotary, I think it's, so this one, you have safe is all the way back, fire is forward. If you push that all the way forward, that's for open, popping your shells out. And this one you can,
oh yes, yeah,
all in one, again, you load them into the back of the slide.
Yeah.
And then just pop them in.
People are going to like that about loading up.
They
love it, aren't they?
Yeah, it makes it more fun.
I can play with that, haven't you?
Yeah, we'll show you the cowboy gun one day as well. It's like a Winchester rifle, and you underlever and it fires the cartridges out the side.
Oh, really?
So yeah, that's just your. Well, this one's actually called 69 Classic.
That's is that a replica exactly size and everything?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's a.
It's heavy as well.
Use English language, a big arse gun, isn't it? It's definitely going to make somebody's day, even if they're pellet shooting.
They're good fun. They're just for fun. That's it. They are for target shooting, full pellets.
And collectible. I can see the collectible aspect.
Yeah. So we get lots of collectors, and they like to collect all the abstract, obviously a bit strange, different things that are out there. So, but these, there you go. Okay. That's your pistols. Right, you mentioned about the BBs, Graeme, for the target shooting, so for plinking in the garden and target shooting. So these are 4.5mm, or other people know as 177. They're a stainless steel BB. Only downside to these are they do ricochet, so wearing a pair of safety glasses or thinking about what it's actually hitting after it's hit your target would be worth remembering. So I suggest a piece of carpet on the back is generally good. This is a copper version of the BB, which, as you can see on the front, it shows you it's round and it shows you flat. So it's low ricochet, and that is purely that hopefully it collapses when it hits something.
That's flat. That's what it should do if it hits something.
That's what it should do if it hits something.
And safety with a flat head there, because it's got a flat head?
Generally, the flat heads are for target shooting, makes a bigger hole on the paper when it goes through, so you can see where you've shot. Whereas obviously a pointed, if you shot with a pointed pellet, it make a smaller hole, harder for you to see from where you're shooting at the time as you walk up to your target.
Gotcha.
So those are generally different.
Within a target, just close now, within a target shooting, fraternity if you like, do they use a backup scope like you see snipers? They don't want to walk all the way down the target.
They do.
To actually view what they're shooting.
Yes, what they call is a spotting scope. You generally see it have like a big lens on the front, a big tube, and it'll have like a side eye on it.
Yeah.
And you'd have that set on your target.
Yeah.
You would shoot, and then you look for your spotter, and you can see straight down.
Safe walking up and down all the time,
walking up and down to make sure you're on point. So Yeah, perhaps I'll do that. I'll bring in a target spotting scope for you, and I'll talk you through it, Graeme, and you can have a look at it.
I appreciate it. Thanks very much for your time, and I think, guys, you know, if you want to get into target shooting, give Grant a shout. Well, thanks for watching this issue. It's a bit of a mix-up one. I like putting that stuff in. It's quite interesting what Grant's had to say. And don't forget, another one coming shortly. Keep watching the Totally Awesome Fishing Show.